In 1984, totalitarianism is another relevant theme throughout the novel. Not only is it the foundation of Oceania's government, but it shapes the lives of the inhabitants within the continent. A totalitarian regime such as the one in 1984 completely restricts the freedom of the citizens living within. All their actions are monitored closely, and the government is in complete control over their population. One of the most effective methods the party uses to exercise authority is through the control of information and history. The party believes that if they control the present, then they control the past, and if they control the past, they control the future. Therefore, if the party dictates the information regarding the past, they control the events in the future. There are many instances of where the theme of totalitarianism and the control of information and truth of the past events appears in 1984, each one demonstrating the seemingly omnipotent power of the party. Firstly, doublethink. In Part 1, Chapter 3, doublethink was introduced and explained through Winston's thoughts, saying, "And if all others accepted the lie which the party imposed, if all records told the same tale, then the lie passed into history and became the truth. Who controls the past, rang the party slogan, controls the future. Who controls the present, controls the past. And yet the past, though of its nature alterable, has never been altered. Whatever was true now was true from everlasting to everlasting. It was quite simple. All that was needed was an unending series of victories over your own memory. Reality control, they call it. In newspeak, doublethink." This quotation explains the concept of doublethink. As said before, doublethink is utilized by the party to partially control the thoughts of people. With the partial control of thoughts, the party is free to literally rewrite history towards their bias. The theme of totalitarianism is present here because doublethink allows the alteration of history and information, which essentially allows the manipulation of reality of the inhabitants of Oceania. Part 1, Chapter 4 is where we get insight on media that the party controls. It states, "As soon as all the corrections which happened to be necessary in any particular number of times and had been assembled and collated, that number would be reprinted, the original copy destroyed, and the corrected copy placed on the files in its stead." This process of continuous alteration was applied not only to newspapers, but to books, periodicals, pamphlets, posters, leaflets, films, soundtracks, cartoons, photographies, to every kind of literature or documentation which might conceivably hold any political or ideological significance. All history was a palimpsest, scrapped clean and reinscribed exactly as often as was necessary. In no case would it have been possible, that once the deed was done, to prove that any falsification had taken place. This citation demonstrates the vast stretch of media the party controls and manipulates to control its citizens. From periodicals to soundtracks, the party controls what seems to be everything. With this control, the party has the ability to manipulate the media to its desired output, portraying the theme of totalitarianism. Winston also mentions that it is impossible to prove any falsifications, which amplifies the party's omnipotence. The previous quotations are supported with this quotation from Winston. It states the following, "And so it was with every class of recorded fact, great or small. Everything faded away into a shadow world, in which, finally, even the date of the year had become uncertain." This quotation demonstrates how the destruction of recorded history plays a role in the party's hold for power. The totalitarian theme is present here, as the quotation directly states the lengths the party takes to ensure their control over information. To take away something as concrete such as the date of events shows the party's monopoly over information, even to the point where the inner party themselves forget those details. Similarly to the second quotation, in Part 2, Chapter 5, Winston recalls that, Every record has been destroyed or falsified. Every book has been rewritten. Every picture has been repainted. Every statue and street and building has been renamed. Every date has been altered. And that process is continuing day by day, minute by minute. History has stopped. Nothing exists except the endless present in which the party is always right. I know, of course, that the past is falsified, but it would never be possible for me to prove it, even if I did the falsification myself. After the thing is done, no evidence ever remains. The only evidence is inside my own mind, and I don't know with any certainty that any other human being shares my memories. The totalitarian theme is present here, as Winston reinstates all the types of information that has been replaced by the party. It isn't only the dates and facts that have been altered, but paintings and books have been recreated to fit what the party wants their people to see. This portrays the manipulation of history and information at an extreme level. Every outlet of imagination or inspiration, such as works of art and literature, must be reviewed by the party. And all that doesn't meet with the party's goal for complete control are erased physically and from the people's memories. Winston also mentions that he does not know if anyone else shares his memories, which essentially makes him a minority of one, which begs the question, is he insane for being the only person to believe in something if no evidence provides its existence, nor if any other person shares the same belief? Chapter 6 of Part 3, however, is different from the rest. It states the following. Uncalled, a memory floated into his mind. He saw a candlelit room in a vast white counterpane bed, and himself, a boy of 9 or 10, sitting on the floor shaking a dice box and laughing excitedly. His mother was sitting opposite him and also laughing. He pushed the picture out of his mind. It was a false memory. Here, after all the torment, all the torture, all the reformation Winston went through, the party won over him. Totalitarianism is seen here as our protagonist submitted to the party. The party is able to dictate what Winston believes and what he has to reject. All memories he has of the past are denounced as false memories. For Winston, the party now controls the information of his past. The party has won. To conclude, Orwell's 1984 notes of a truly dystopian future. The themes of language and mind control, as well as totalitarianism, is very well present within his novel. I also learned that the theme of totalitarianism and language and mind control complements one another, creating an excellent narrative in a novel. Each theme that is portrayed within a novel amplifies the dystopian setting, whether it is because it makes an already bleak future even more forlorn, or whether it is because it amplifies the party's seemingly immortal standing. Now, we the readers, fully warned of its dangers, must speak up against an oppressive administration before it is too late.